Hey everyone, RogueGold here, and today I want to talk about the new Ouroboros Exotic SMG that is going to be in the Division 2's Year 5 Season 2 update. This is going to be the exotic tied to the new Incursion. It will be exclusive to that activity, and it is accessible right now on the public test server for the update. Now, when we got the patch notes back on Wednesday, I said that this was my most anticipated item. I thought the talent looked awesome. At that point, we didn't know anything about the stats or whatever else, but a lot of people were saying that they were very underwhelmed with it and they thought it was going to be quite bad. And my, how the tables have turned, because now this is the hot topic of conversation for people around the community talking about how this gun is the new St. Elmo's and just asking the general question, which is usually not what we're asking, is this thing too good? So I'm going to break it down and we will get into all of it. If you enjoy breakdowns like these, I got a lot more PTS coverage coming up. And if you haven't already, you should click that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any of it. Well, let's get into it. This is the Ouroboros Exotic SMG. First off, just talking about visually, the looks, I love it. It's very simplistic, but it has a super clean design. Honestly, I'm shocked that I'm fine with the folded stock that it has. I feel like normally that would bug me a lot, but it for some reason just really fits with the design of this gun. The drum mag on the Vector is awesome. I like the little detail of the golden pig hanging from the front. I think it's just a really awesome look overall. But let's talk about the actual stats of this thing because this is where you start to see how crazy this exotic is. It's an SMG, of course, so it comes with those standard attributes, but then it has 1650, I'm gonna say that again, 1650 RPM and a 50 mag. For a Vector, for this archetype of a weapon, that is insane. That is like maybe the amount that you would get combined with Striker and Golden Bullet on a regular high-end Vector, maybe even more, and that's just its base value. Of course, this follows the new exotic attribute system, meaning you can re-roll the third attribute to get damage to targets out of cover, damage to armor, one of those multiplicative values. The talent is Rule Them All. When the agent has a status effect applied to them, 50% of the ammo in their next magazine will apply the same status effect to their targets. This effect will only occur during combat. Now, this talent is originally what made me so excited for this gun because of the implications that could have for the likes of PvP, but honestly, everything else has kind of overtaken that at this point. Because if we take a look at the mods this thing has, it has a 10% crit damage sight, a 25% reload speed magazine, 10% crit chance grip, and a 10% rate of fire muzzle. So as I said before, this thing has kind of become the new St. Elmo's as far as how people are viewing it, right? The talent is great on its own. Again, I'm still excited for what that means for PvP, kind of how I can incorporate that into different builds, but the base stats, the mods, and just the attributes of this gun is what is making it such a hot topic right now. One thing I do really like is the variety of different things you can spec into and kind of buff up about the gun, and it all makes you play very differently. For example, I've tried a few different builds with it already in the PTS. I tried a true Patriot setup to buff up the magazine size, and that takes you up to 65 in the mag. And again, with that rate of fire, that's pretty insane. If you want to buff up the rate of fire even further, you can go for the likes of Umbra or Striker. That'll take it up towards 2000, maybe even surpassing 2000 RPM. Again, insane. Or if you just want to go for the more traditional straight damage increase, you can go for the likes of Hunter's Fury, a high-end setup, anything like that. So in a sense, this is a very one-size-fits-all kind of gun, right? If different people want to use it in different ways, you can pretty much do that, and that's really awesome. The problem is, as you can see in the gameplay, this is on the PTS. I don't play on PC, right? This character doesn't have a lot of levels. It's not spec'd into any specializations, expertise, any of that. And I am just absolutely mowing through everything. So imagine this ported onto my main character on Xbox with even more power and progression and everything. Turn it up an extra 20%, and that's what you're going to see. So trust me, I am not one to call for nerfs for the sake of removing fun. Games are meant to be played for fun. They deserve to be there for fun. But in games like these, I don't find it fun if one item or one gun or whatever outclasses everything else to the point at which you feel bad for running something else because you know you could be doing so much better if you ran this other thing. And I'm a bit fearful that that's the territory we're heading in here with the Ouroboros. Now, do absolutely keep in mind, this gun is going to be much harder to get than a lot of other guns have been these days, exotics in particular, as they've usually just been tied to the season tracks. This is going to be exclusively tied to the new Incursion, with a 10% drop chance on your first weekly clear, and then a 1% drop chance from each boss on each subsequent run. So this is going to be a hard gun to get and a long one to grind for, and so because of that, it does deserve to be powerful, absolutely. And that is why, in my opinion, from the time I've spent with the gun so far on the PTS, I think there should be some moderate reductions put in place. I do not want the Nerf hammer coming down on this thing. I don't want it to be put to the ground. Like I said, this is still, and it remains, my most, favorite and anticipated item that we've seen so far in the Season 2 PTS here. But steamrolling through every piece of content in the game and just completely overpowering the PvP meta isn't what makes the game fun for me. So whether it means they tune down the base damage a little bit, they just tune back that RPM so it's not quite so lethal, or some combination of the two, I feel like that is going to bring the gun to a much better middle balance point where it's still very strong, it's still very worthwhile to grind the Incursion to get it, but therefore it does not leave everything else in the dust, because with this current implementation, that's what it seems like it's going to be doing. I saw some fellow content creators running the numbers online and basically saying that if you align this up with the DPS output of a lot of other competitive guns right now, it just far surpasses all of them. And I don't think many people want a repeat of what we had in year one when the Eagle Bearer was so strong that anyone who didn't have it was at a clear disadvantage in PvP or even trying to compete with damage in PvE. But conversely, I don't think people want the case where the Eagle Bearer then turned into what it is now, which is still fun. I mean, it's still my favorite current gun in the game, but it lost a lot of what made it so special during year one. I think there is a very healthy middle point to be reached there, and that's kind of what I'm hoping to see with this gun moving towards the full release of Season 2. So, everybody, those are some of my thoughts about the new exotic Ouroboros SMG, but of course, I want to hear what you are thinking. Whether you've played the PTS or you're just watching my commentary or others' gameplay, what are you thinking about this new gun? Do you think it is too strong? Do you think it's just right? Do you think it needs even more power? Unlikely, but let me know whatever you're thinking. Lots more PTS coverage coming your way, so stay locked right here and you'll see it soon. That's all I've got for this one, though. Everybody, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. RogueGold. Ow.